you will need a 10-year guarantee.
Yeah.
And that will be difficult if this isn't sorted. What worries me is that's not in the control of the buyer of this unit.
So the deal's the shops and uppers opportunity in a small town called Totton on the outskirts of Southampton.
Yeah.
And my proposal is to kind of convert that into flats and retain some shops, and then see what the Angels are interested in going for. There are 3 cases for that,
Okay,
so see what they want to go for.
brilliant. So how much funding are you looking for today?
The highest case funding is around 750,000. And with the case 1, it's around 265,000. So yeah, let's see. So the deal basically involves shops and uppers opportunity, which is the property is located in a small town called Totton on the outskirts of Southampton. The ground floor was occupied by a bank, and the first floor was occupied by an education training provider. That was occupied till end of July. So the property is vacant at the moment. So the opportunity here is a permitted development opportunity to kind of convert the property into 5 flats to retain 2 shops at the ground floor, as per the plan attached in the pack.
How much are you paying for it?
According to the numbers, 201,950
Purchase price.
or so. Yeah, purchase price.
Okay. And what are you looking for from us today?
I'm looking for the full funding, and I'm also willing to put my own skin in the game. I can put in 40,000 straight away. And as I said, you know, I have some properties which I'm waiting to liquidate. So yeah, which I can.
So when you say you're looking for full funding, do you mean you would like us to purchase it together with your 40?
Yeah.
And then we finance the balance? Is that the idea?
Initially, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So it would be about 160 plus costs from us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And on the ground floor, I'm a little bit confused. Do you want to put in, you're putting the first floor into 5 flats, are you? Is that what you want to do?
No,
Whole
combined
building?
first and ground. So there are 3 flats on the first floor.
Right.
And 2 flats at the back of the shop. On the,
flats at the back.
yeah.
You've been talking to Ranjan, haven't you? You know, a lot of these, the back end of shops, you know, they're not very attractive as flats.
It's a site-by-site thing.
What does that mean?
Well, there's on the same street you'll have bins at the back, and it's horrible.
Thank
on
you.
Some, on
Leave it at
some,
that.
on some shops, it'll be quite pleasant. So
Well,
it's
look,
a site by
John's
site.
obviously got a good point though.
Debatable.
Sometimes it's not worth squeezing a
Of course
flat
it is.
into a certain
Yeah,
location, whereas in London it probably is. Is this the high street of Totton?
It's the commercial main road.
Right.
It's not the city centre. It's just the opposite the road, the centre.
And are there shops on either side?
Yeah, there is a vape shop on the right-hand side.
Are they all let? Is there any empty shops?
No,
on the
they're all
street?
let. Yeah.
Okay.
Just talk us through what your plan is for the exit on those flats and how long this project is going to take.
So provide a light well through the roof in the property. Put in a planning application forward for that. Once we have the planning approved and executed the light well in the property, then we can convert the property into 3 flats on the first floor and 2 flats at the back of the shop. And then we can apply for a permitted development. And then once we have that, then either we can retain the property, develop it in the first case, and sell it or rent it out are the first and second cases. And in the third case, once we have the PD, we can just pass it on to a constructor to build it out.
Have you got build costs for doing the development? Have you?
I've been trying to arrange a viewing with a constructor, but I haven't been able to do that
No, I
so
understand.
far.
Okay.
I might have something tomorrow, but from what I have, so I've got a residential property, as I said, is kind of being done at the moment, and I've compared the numbers through that, and I've taken £120 per square feet as a
Yeah. For
estimated
conversion.
cost.
That's not probably that far
And
out. Yeah.
that's what I've done. Yeah.
All right. Good. Nicholas?
3 of the 5 requirements for permitted development are here under quite a high risk section, so that's parking. You said there's only nearby public parking, so probably not any on-site parking. There's a pub next door. As you know, acoustics is one of the tests of Class MA, which is noise from other commercial units in the surrounding area. and natural light, then you're suggesting a light well might need to be provided. So there's problems with all three of those. So 3 out of the 5 conditions seem to have fairly high risk components. And this is, did you say it was going to auction? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
it's
on Friday.
It's best of offer.
Best offers, it's not
best
auction.
offer.
Oh, it's
It's
not
not
auction,
an
it's
auction.
best offer.
Yeah, it's a best
fine.
offer.
So you could do that work before exchange then
Yes.
to mitigate it.
Yeah, you can do your
Fine.
due diligence after
After it,
you've
yeah,
agreed
that's
to
what I
buy
wanted
it.
to check.
Yeah.
And then Japanese knotweed next door.
Yeah,
How
so
close
as
is
per the
that?
picture shown there, at the rear of the next door property,
Yeah.
there is, as indicated in the red, there is indication of a Japanese knotweed. What I've talked to the agent, they've said, you know, they're doing their due diligence at their end. Can they really sell the property or not? That's being done as we talk. But what they said is, you know, they're gonna most probably chop it off and then decide what to do next.
Is this the green that we see on the neighbouring?
Yes, at the back.
Yeah.
In the circle in
Okay.
red. Yeah.
Do you know much about knotweed?
I've Googled stuff and I know from
It's not
internet.
good news. You can get a 10-year insurance policy on it normally, once it's all cleared. But it would put off a lot of lenders.
It can make it difficult to get a structural warranty as well.
Yeah.
Or make it much more expensive.
Yeah, it would do.
There's also the issue of if you're doing these as flats and you're looking to sell them on or do anything like that, or even remortgage them to keep them, you will need a 10-year guarantee.
Yeah.
And that will be difficult if this isn't sorted. What worries me is that's not in the control of the buyer of this unit.
Are you struggling to find your next commercial to residential conversion project? Well, over the next 2 years, virtually every UK bank branch will close. Banks are fabulous buildings in prime locations, and thanks to permitted development rights, they're really easy to convert to alternative uses under a light touch planning regime. My team have put together a list of over 500 UK bank branches which are poised for imminent closure. And for a limited period only, you can download this list absolutely free. Your next commercial property project is on this list, so download it now and enjoy the rest of the video.
Yeah, I agree.
And what we always say, if it's something out of your control, it is a problem. It is a problem. A couple of things on PD that I was going to ask Nicholas, who's the expert on PD.
Right.
Shall I ask
The
you,
only
Jack?
true expert
Well,
on the panel.
true
ask
expert.
him and I'll correct.
Okay. Nicholas, on PD,
Fighting talk.
is parking. I didn't think parking was an issue with PD.
Highways is, yeah.
Right.
So
So,
you have to-
not
you
parking,
usually have
but
to do-
highways.
and it depends
the
on
other
the
thing
borough.
is, I've just done a PD in Norwich, just on a small office to residential, and it's next to a Chinese restaurant that I own as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they've pulled us up on smell.
That's not a requirement of PD,
No,
but
that's
it might
interesting.
come under general
Yeah.
comments from. I mean, the council are using PD now
We've had to persuade them.
just to put any sort of stuff in. They're pretty much conditioning it like a planning app, aren't they?
John,
So
many
it's-
of your deals may stink, but they can't hold it up. They can't hold it
Very
up.
good.
they can't
hold
legally
up.
hold it up on
that's-
stinking ground.
It's not a PD thing.
Okay.
Noise is mitigatable. You just acoustic measures and all of that.
So that's what you'd have to do here.
So the
obviously, yeah.
property two doors down has
You've got
got
the pub.
windows in the roof,
Yeah.
the pub,
Yeah.
and that's been approved before. So I know my sister-in-law works in Arup, so I had a chat with her, and they're doing an airport in Southampton at the moment, and they kind of use noise mitigation measures and put windows
Okay.
according to that. So yeah,
But they can afford it on a big scale.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
What's your return on GDV in those, or what are the numbers? Have you worked out the return on GDV?
Yeah, return on GDV, because it's spread over 2 years, according to what I understand in the pack. So it's showing 30%, but that's spread over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be 15% pretty much in a year.
Okay. So it's pretty low.
It's
Okay.
pretty low.
PD isn't really my thing. I don't have the expertise that others on this panel have in that area. There are some risks which I don't have the expertise to help you mitigate, and I don't really know the area, so it's not really for me.
It's very honest of you.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you for that.
For all those same reasons, yeah, it's not for me today, but thank you.
Thank you.
Two concerns really. One is the PD, and it all sounds very easy. PD, I believe, is getting harder to do. these other two guys, to be fair, Nicholas and Ranjan, I have to admit, know more about PD than I do. I just employ a planning consultant, funnily enough, who knows enough more than they do probably. But anyway, that concerns me that it hasn't got PD, and I don't like the fact of the
Knotweed.
knotweed, because that's not in your control, and that's concerning. So for those reasons, it's not a deal for me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, it
Thank you for
feels,
giving the honest opinion.
it feels like it should have PD easily, but there's too many things that are just a little bit trickier than your average PD. It's not a slam dunk PD, you know, with no parking, with the issues we've highlighted. You've highlighted in your, you know, you've
done the
That
right
was
thing.
good.
Yeah,
You've
all
done
of
the
We
right
like
thing.
that.
Yeah, all of
Yeah.
that's solvable. So I'm not overly concerned about that with the right DD before exchange. But the knotweed is on someone else's property. So to even get permission, they might be totally adverse to that. They might not want you to have access, and you've got a load of knotweed right next to your property, and it's then the lending that becomes a big issue.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything about the lending. And if I want to sell off these 5 flats, the incoming buyers are going to know about that. They probably won't be able to get lending. So that's the one
You've actually
big sticking
explained
point.
it much better than I did.
Thank you.
Good that you raised
That's
that.
the
Yeah.
main problem, I think,
Yeah.
for me. So it's not one for me, but good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Knotweed is a massive issue. The other thing that I would bear in mind is that everything you want to do is feasible, is perfectly feasible. So where my firepower is where you're getting 30% return like you're looking at, but it's straightforward vanilla PD and you're in and out in a year, rather than getting 30% return and having a longer haul at it, because you're just halving your returns over time. So for me, I mean, this is feasible. Everything that you've described that you can do, you can actually do it. The problem is out of control knotweed, which scares the out of me. I don't know why I can say that. That'll probably get beeped out.
You
But-
just did say it.
Yeah.
You just did so.
Um,
I'm not like you.
But the duration, I would urge you to look at deals where you make your profit on the PD alone, because you're in and out in 9 months, and if worst case 12 months, and then you're making returns.
I think you can find easier deals to do is really what we're saying.
Yeah. I take your suggestions on board, and I'll look
Thank
for...
you very much for coming in today.
Thank
we do
you.
appreciate it.
Good
Thank you.
presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so how did you get on?
No, it was a good presentation. I enjoyed the feedback that I got from all the angels,
Good.
which was quite nice. I didn't get the funding this time,
Okay.
but I'm going to keep looking for new ones and see what comes next.
Yeah, they can't hold up smell. We've got PD flats
Yeah.
next to a Chinese
Yeah.
takeaway.
Yeah, that's what
It's
this
just
is.
noise, that's all they can do.
It does affect the value though and the ability to borrow.
It does
Yes.
and it doesn't. It
And the
depends what you're
saleability.
doing with them. If we keep the whole building.
Yeah.
we
Well, if
finance
he's
it
trying to
on
sell
the
the
Ranjan keeps
flats,
everything. I'm taking a
lenders
leaf out of
won't
his
like it.
book and I'm keeping
Yeah,
this.
yeah, of course. The other problem with this, by the way, is that the exit, this will make a good keep the whole building rental flats, because the flats will not do well on the sale market.
Yeah, that's true.
Some
They won't-
flats
they
will do
won't-
better
Maybe
on
HMO
rental
them as
than-
well to get some more
Sorry?
yield. HMO them.
Oh,
to give even more
HMOs,
yield.
HMO. All fed up with hearing about HMOs.
The best thing about the pitch, though, is I now know that you both own Chinese restaurants. So which of you are in the catchment of my house? So I get free
We're in a
Chinese
much
for life.
We're in a much better area than you.
The Baker Street Property Meet is the UK's largest and #1 property investors networking event. The property market is going through monumental change right now, and at Baker Street Property Meet we aim to keep you up to date with the latest tips and tricks and insider tactics to help you keep on top of your property investing game and succeed in these troubled economic times. The Baker Street Property Meet is fundamentally about networking, because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And at Baker Street, we aim to connect you with the people to make your property journey a monumental success. There's no better place to be to further your property investment journey than the Baker Street Property Meet. So make sure you're here, you're connecting with myself and Andrew Roberts, our expert guest speakers, and 300 passionate property people each and every month. See you at the next meet. Get your spot at bakerstreetpropertymeet.com.